How the girls all get prettier at closing time. How they all begin to look like movie stars. How the girls all get prettier at closing time. When the change starts taking place, it puts a globe on every face of the fallen angels of the Backstreet Boys. Oh, oh. The fallen angels of the Backstreet Boys.
Well, we're back with Connie Hansen here with Marshallene with Urban Cowboys Behind the Scenes Secrets. So the question that I have now at this particular point is that Marshallene, how did you get a last name when nobody else had last names?
Right. Well, Bud had a last name, Bud Davis.
Okay.
And Wes Hightower had a last name, but no one else really had a last name. Pam didn't have a last name. Maybe Sissy did, but I never heard it.
Okay.
I don't know of anybody else having a last name, and so the prerequisite to that is it happened. I gave myself my own last name. So I gave it to myself out of urgent need in the Dolly Parton Lookalike Contest.
The Dolly Parton Lookalike Contest. That
Yes.
was really cool.
Okay. So let's talk about, if you don't mind, the
Not at all.
prior to, just a few minutes prior to the actual contest.
Okay.
Okay, so here's what happened. The director came up with this great idea that we were going to do the Dolly Parton Lookalike Contest, and we didn't have any females at hand that they could dress up to look like Dolly on a moment's notice and create this contest. So basically, overnight, they came up with the costumes, the wigs, the jewelry, all of that kind of stuff. Kind of like Dolly herself always says, you have no idea how much this costs to look this cheap. It was kind of like that. They brought in overnight, I don't know how they did it, but they brought in on a private plane wigs and jewelry from the, California wardrobe.
That's incredible.
It just arrived, and it was in one great big room that they determined would be our dressing room.
Wow.
And there were all these white wigs, all different styles, and all these different outfits, and big, bold, fake rhinestone jewelry like Marilyn Monroe would have worn in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, big gaudy stuff.
Very cool.
And so we all got in there, and finding the girls was the trick, because we didn't have any extras that looked like that would work. I mean, the extras were kind of like the dancers, like they were extras in the riding the bull scene or dancing on the stage,
Okay.
on the floor. And so one guy said, I don't know who the guy is, but a guy says to the director, I think I know where we can get some girls really quick.
Where was that?
Yeah. And so Jim said, well, go get them. Where are they? And he said, well, Pasadena has a red light district, and they're all hanging out together out on the street still.
Oh, no.
And he looked at his watch, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. We were all waiting to do something, and we had an early call, and they said, I think they're all probably still standing out there right now.
About quitting time.
Yeah. And so he said, well, go get them.
Oh.
And so off they went to go get these girls. And they were going to be paid as extras. But Jim said, tell them it's a real contest and that there's going to be a cash prize. And that should do the trick. Pardon the pun.
Yes.
So off they went to round up these girls, round them up, rawhide. Anyway, so here they come, and they show them where the dressing room is and everything. And they
Pretty
look like
modest women by any chance?
they look like they should be extras for cabaret.
Okay.
They did not look like urban cowboy Dolly Parton people. So they had to take all their clothes off. And so it didn't bother them. And so the entire room was full of all these naked women. I mean, so I walked into the room. I was looking for some rhinestone jewelry, and I'm literally just kind of looking down at the floor because I'm not really wanting to, look at all what was going on. But there was this one girl that was a real standout for me. And I said, how in the world? And I just said, how in the world? And the lady said, oh, you don't think this is going to work? And I go, yeah, I was sort of thinking that. What she had was, and I'm going to be very, very delicate with you. I'm going to try with a lot of sensitivity to describe what I saw. Her breasts, I had never seen breasts like this before. And remember, I had kind of an exposure to medical stuff. My husband was a gynecologist, in an office.
What could possibly be different with these breasts?
Yeah, that I'd never seen before.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Well, they were about 2 inches apart, maybe 3, not very wide. Not very wide. And they went all the way down to the knees. They were like long, fleshy strips with, a nipple at the bottom.
That.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was no breast tissue inside.
Wow.
There was nothing in there. They were just long strips, 2 strips.
Well, how in the world could you fit into a bra with a Dolly, Dolly Parton contest?
That's why my comment was, how in the world is that going to work? I mean, I really didn't know, and she picked up on it immediately. Evidently, she's run into this problem before. Anyway, okay. So she said, just watch me. And she just started with the first one, and she started rolling it. Rolling. And rolling. It took a while. Rolling. And then she got up to the bra area and then went like that and stuffed them in.
Filled it right in.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. She looked like Dolly. I mean, she really did. I mean, her breast
on one
did.
side.
On one side, yeah,
right.
Exactly. And then she had to do the other one. But when she got her costume on, she looked voluptuous and everything, just like Dolly. Just like Dolly. But I mean, I'd never seen anything like that before.
I don't know if I can ever unsee it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you asked me about the names?
Yes.
Okay, so here's how that worked. There were 2 rows of dollies, okay? And the idea was that Mickey would go with the hand mic up to each dolly contestant and ask them their name. Well, we weren't told that. We never saw a script or anything. He was told what to do, but nobody else knew. So we were all standing there, like this in our lineup, and each girl, the ones from the street, and maybe there were a couple that weren't from the street. I don't want to, put a damper on that whole thing. I'm sure there were probably some, and they're probably still out there today that were not women of the evening.
Sure.
That were just.
Can't lump them all in.
No, I'm not lumping them at all because they could have been friends of the extras that were there, and they got a call and said, come on down, So I'm not disparaging that. I'm not, because some of them were probably fine. The other ones were, a little bit outrageous. But the thing that happened was Mickey would put the mic in front of them and they were to say their name. Well, oh my goodness, they said their real name.
Oh, so first name, last name.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I had to think quick because he was getting ready to come to me. And right before me was Zetta. Zetta was right next to me. She played Crystal. And she was up there right next to me. And I just whacked her in the arm like that and said, get yourself a last name and quick.
Get yourself a last name. Quick.
And she just, why? She wanted to do Zetta was young. And she just acted like, she was wanting to know why. Everything was a why.
Right.
Why? And I said, don't ask me why. Just get yourself a last name.
Just do it.
just do it, like Nike.
Yes.
They probably got it from me. Nike, yeah, that's how they got that slogan.
That's right. They
Okay.
watched Urban Cowboy.
Yeah, just do it. I said, just do it. And so she came up with a name in the nick of time. I'm talking about within a nanosecond, Mickey had that mic in front of Zetta, and she had her last name.
Wow.
And then right to me, I went, hi, I'm Marshalene Mitchell, you know,
Perfect.
with that, you know, voice. Anyway, and so that's how we got our last names. So Zetta and I had last names.
That is so cool.
I think we were probably the only women with last names, and we gave them to ourselves.
That's an amazing story right there, folks. So I got another question here. So with all of this, and you going through what you did and so on and so forth, by any chance, did you have an opportunity to maybe talk with directors, or did you have a relationship with directors?
Yes, we did. We would be called into his RV for meetings. That was where we met on the set. He had a question for us, or he wanted to give us some direction, or what he wanted, you know, for us to do in a particular scene. And also, we would have lunch. So
Very cool.
Everything was catered from LA. All of the catering trucks came in from LA and set up every day. So we had food on the set all day and all night. And great food.
I bet. Wow.
Lobster, everything. The best of the best.
Lobster.
Live Maine lobster.
Those are the days.
Yeah, those were the days. Anyway, I would sit with Jim and we just talk about stuff. And one day, I guess it was the first time we had lunch together. And he said, you know, I'm kind of curious about you. And I said, in what way? And he said, I know we just picked you up from a cattle call. That's what they call it, cattle call. Which was that day, you know, that you throw your picture on the table.
Yeah, cattle.
Okay, cattle.
Okay,
yeah.
I get it now.
He said, I know we picked you up from the cattle call, but there's something more I don't know, right? About you. And I said, yeah, probably. And he goes, what is it? And I told him, I said, I was a theater actress. I did musical comedy with really big stars of that period.
Okay.
Carolyn Jones, Mickey Rooney, Anna Maria Alberghetti.
Wow, big
and
names.
on and on. Yeah, big names.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were the big stars from not only Broadway musicals, but from Hollywood movies.
Okay.
And you might recognize Carolyn Jones as the mother in the Addams Family.
Yes.
So, I mean, there were big stars of that day. And I told him, I said I was under contract with Actors Equity at the time. And I did all of these musicals. And we had 2 theaters. One was the big Houston Music Theater that looked like a mini Astrodome theater in the round. And we had a huge theater. I mean, huge. And then the Parent Theater, which we had in California in the Valley it was on Ventura Boulevard.
Okay.
And it was the Valley Music Theater. So we did shows at both places. If they had, you know, an actress that didn't show up for work or was out sick or something like that, we would be plucked out of the one from Houston and we were sent to California to fill that role. And so he said, I knew there was something different about you. And he said, you have acting and an acting background. That's why this is working. And I thought that was really nice for him.
Recognized.
Yeah, it was nice that, you know, he recognized that I had something to contribute.
Right.
And not just kind of stand there or have a cowboy with his arms around me and not really have any words.
Well, considering that they didn't even have a part for you to play.
Yeah, there was
didn't have any lines for you to say.
Right.
That they actually, in recap, they actually had her read Sissy's lines and didn't understand why. So this whole entire thing here has been just an awesome situation, and it's I don't want to date myself or yourself, but it's historical for me. It's very memorable. And I never knew that it was such a big thing. And according to the internet at this particular point, This whole thing is blowing up again. And again, Connie has mentioned that not only were the people that were in the movie, the people that watched the movies, the people that actually had the situation, well, hello.
You want to say something to the fans, the Urban Cowboy fans out there? This is Cooper.
So we're going to welcome Cooper to the show. Yeah, he got a little antsy for his mama to get done.
I know.
So we are going to wrap this up at this particular point. In Connie, I just want to say that it's been an honor to be here.
Thank you.
And we really love this opportunity. And we'd like for us to be able to maybe come back again and ask a few more questions.
I'd love that. Thank you so much for showing an interest in me and in Urban Cowboy.
I think it's not just me. I think it's all the fans out here. And again, folks, I think that if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you really want to hear more of Connie's secrets, and I think that she's got a few more, as well as subscribe to that, smash that subscribe button. But you put some questions. If you have any questions for Connie or Marceline, put the questions down in the comments below, and we'll try to get to them in future segments. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, and God bless.